good has it been in the last couple of weeks to have had a few weeks off and the players to recuperate after such a tough season? I know you'd rather have been in Champions Cup semi-finals, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the way you've got to look at it. It's a little bit bittersweet. I mean, obviously having the Easter weekend off and the weather being so nice, you've got to take advantage of that. And obviously the lads being able to spend a bit of time with family and friends, and as you say, refresh, you've got to use that as the bonus it is. Because if you don't use it as a bonus, then you're losing always round. So we feel it was a nice time to have almost a natural break for us, and I know that might sound a little bit strange. As I say, we'd have liked to have been in Europe, but actually a couple of weeks before we go to Leicester, we played very well away from home, and we cement a home semi-final place. There's a reality that's the biggest thing you can achieve in this early part of the season. Is a home semi-final. That's the biggest thing you can achieve. We can say all kinds of other things, like there's an opportunity for us to collect a huge amount of points in the Premiership. I think there's still the opportunity for us to actually get the highest amount of points that's ever been achieved in this stage of the competition. But the reality is, it actually doesn't matter how many points you collect, it's getting that home semi-final. We've got that. We now actually have to just make sure that we're preparing ourselves as well as we can for, and it sounds a bit strange, we do want to prepare well for a semi-final and potentially a final. But there is a way of doing that, and the way of doing that is you prepare well today and you prepare flat out for a very tough game, which is what's going to happen this weekend against Harlequins. Because there is a reality that we also let ourselves down a week after cementing the home semi-final place with our performance here against Wasps, where without doubt we took off the pedal a little bit. Now I understand that, and there's loads of reasons for it. If you qualify for the biggest thing you can achieve, well, the week after, for whatever reason, it doesn't feel probably quite as big as it should. That happened. We've now got to make sure that we've kind of used that as a little bit of a reminder that the best way for us to move forward is to prepare very well every day and use games for what they are, which is they're precious opportunities to challenge yourself to be a better player. And it's actually the guys who can challenge themselves every week to be better players will ultimately be the best players you want in the semi-final and the final for you. And we've very much reminded the players of that actually their performances now, they really do matter. How they go about training and playing and showing that they're the people who are working the hardest to be the most ready for those big games are the guys we're going to want to pick.
And you look at the 3 games coming up, Quins, Saracens, Northampton, you could face any of those sides in the playoffs, be it in the final, Saracens, and either Quins or Northampton if they finish 4th and you finish 1st. So it's not like you're playing a dead rubber, so to speak, because I guess you can lay down a marker, and on the other hand, the sides you come up against will possibly want to do the same.
Yeah, there is further repercussions on the results of the games, on how the shake-up might end up, how teams might end up playing each other. I'm less concerned about what the opposition may feel about us, if I'm honest with you. But I'm very concerned about what we feel about ourselves and how good a position we feel we put ourselves in, and how strongly we prepare to be the best team we can be. The most important thing is that teams that stay successful are teams that are always striving to be better, and that's what we've got to make sure we want to achieve, that we want to be better next week than we are now. And a huge part of us getting better next week is how we perform against Harlequins.
Let's look to Quins now in a bit more detail, and they've not had the best of runs lately. I think it's 1 win in the last 6, and that was in a European quarter-final. Do you see, what do you read into that? Where do you think they're going wrong? What do you think they can come back with you now?
Well, they're not going too far wrong, because you actually look at those results, they're all very close. They got very close to Clermont, Havant away from home. There was a scenario at the end of the game where you thought they were pressing potentially to really get something out of the game, and that kind of tripped away from them. I've looked at some of their other fixtures, and they've been very close, and they were close with Saracens. They've played some tough teams and they've done very well. So I actually don't think, as I said, I don't think they're far off at all. They're a little bit like us. If they play at the top of their game, they're very, very dangerous. If you drop off your percentage at all, you get hurt. The way we're looking at it is, it looks to me like a team that's got English international props, English international back row forwards, international backs. There's a lot of threats on the field, and I think that's the way we're approaching it. We're approaching it unless we expect them to be at our best, and unless we're prepared to work hard to be at our best, they can come here and beat us. That happened to us in our last home game with Wasps, and Harlequins are more than capable of doing that again if we let ourselves down. And that's what we're focusing on. We're not overly focusing on Harlequins, although we know there's threats there. We're focusing on the quality performance we want to deliver.